I'd like to welcome everybody to a brand new show. This is your Z Energy God, and I here today with Mama Eve. How do you do, Mama Eve?
Well, good morning to you. Good morning, morning. I'm absolutely wonderful. And how are you?
I'm doing fine on this terrific day.
Yes.
Yeah, I was very interested in a lot of stuff that you were doing. I love all the blog talks and all the information that you put online for people to explore and to actually understand the spiritual aspects of the side of them understanding the spiritual mind and the empowerment behind it, because being a woman, the woman has so much power and gift and to put into the gifts, as in to help people.
Right. Yes. Well, I just do the best that I can do. And the best is usually good enough to help someone else. I this is just who I am. And I do believe that this is who I was born and meant to be. I just enjoy my life. I enjoy helping other people in a real sense because, yes, we all have power, but some use their power in the wrong way.
Hmm.
So I concentrate daily and pray daily that the power or the gifts that I have received will help someone as I'm on this journey at this time.
Hmm. How did you first start it and know that it was your calling?
Well, that's the $1 million question. I get that question probably about 1,000 times a week. I did not know. Um, I remember, or I always recall this story about that my mom always shared that when she had me, there was a nurse that came in the room and said, took one look at me and said, "This child is going to be very particular." Well, growing up, I was a loner, um, didn't know, was brought up in a Christian home, even though my mother was the one, because I'm the baby. I have three sisters. So I'm the baby. And my mother would be the one that takes us to Bible school. We went to Bible school and church and you just name it, prayer meetings.
Hmm.
So growing up, that was a part of who I was. So as a teenager, when a lot of my friends was going club hopping and enjoying their lives, my
Hmm.
Friday nights and my Saturday nights, I went church hopping.
Yes, ma'am.
So to to um, to explain how I came into this, I think I came into my gifts in the way of Christianity.
Hmm.
The church, became a preacher, became a pastor, and thinking that my spiritual gifts was more so preaching. And I had
Hmm.
a deliverance ministry. So that's how I think I came in that way, but always had a special um, calling for deliverance and prophecies and giving words of wisdom and things like that. So as that gift matured, I realized, wait a minute, it's more than a building, it's more than just preaching every week.
Hmm.
So the same, and a lot of the things that I do today, I still carry or hold on to those spiritual values that when I was in the church, I learned. I learned. So a large part of what I do today is praying for people or telling them, okay, we can use the Bible as a reference.
Yeah, most
The
people do.
difference.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, because even when you do hoodoo, a large
Hmm.
part of hoodoo is knowing the scriptures, you
Hmm.
know? So I that's the only way I can figure out my calling was it started. in the church, and it had expanded outside the church, because I realized the church really is not a building, it's us.
Hmm. Yeah, most people do because a lot of people start off in the church and it always show them a spiritual path. And that
Hmm.
path open up to like so many different like situations, and you never know what you might get out of life because the humbleness and not only that, the commitment, because the energy that comes from the church is always deprived into you. And sometimes people gifts open up more quicker than others. Like I was saying, like the woman is actually the godhead to the male counterpart, and the godhead exists within you. And just like I was explaining in all my podcasts, and I do a lot of research and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So how many years have you been doing this?
I've been doing, and I like to say spiritual work, because
Yeah.
at first it was just basically the herbs. I started with the herbs, and from the herbs, um, es- I don't want to say expand, but I opened up, and it's been about 41 years now.
Hmm.
41 years. So I started very early, and I pray that I have another 41 years to help somebody else. But yeah, it's just been a wonderful journey. It's been a hard journey. It's been a lonely journey, but it have been a wonderful journey.
Yes, yes, indeed. For a lot of people, it's been a big journey. For a lot of women, that's actually trying to like understand themselves. Um, Definitely, you will see a lot of passion within the elders, like women such as yourself,
Mhm.
because you make a lot of empowerment for a lot of women to understand a lot of things they do not even understand, because life is full of a lot of different spiritual aspects, like I always say, because the road is always, it's kind of hard when you
Mhm.
first start off, but you know how to like resonate with a lot of things that come for you for yourself, because yourself is going to be the one to open a lot of different doorways that open up to your life.
Mhm. You know what? One of the hardest things was for me to uncondition, or to be unlearned about a lot of things that I had learned growing up. And
Hmm.
I'm talking about in the church with the
Hmm.
Bible.
Hmm.
So I had to go back. I actually went on a personal journey to prove that the Bible was real. I went to
Hmm.
seminary, I graduated from that. And like I said, I preached, I taught, but yet there was still something in me saying, wait a minute now, some of this stuff is not adding up. Some of this stuff just not resonating in my spirit the
Hmm.
way that I wanted to. So I set out on a journey. I start going back with an open mind, saying, okay, so let's take scripture by scripture. Let's do book by book, because where I use the book for a, if you notice, I say a reference, it's a wonderful reference. There is, and this may be controversial, but there is a lot of things that just does not, it doesn't add up. Where this is my personal view. It does
Hmm.
not fully add up, and it's not even about the Bible not adding up. It's the teachings,
Yes.
how we was taught, how
Yes.
we was taught.
Hmm.
So um, I do believe that the Bible per se, the book,
Hmm.
was created as a form of control and
Hmm.
controlling our people.
Hmm.
Our people.
Hmm.
It's a wonderful reference. You can find everything in there, from acts of love to acts of hate. It's
Hmm.
everything in there. But it's
Yeah,
just
a lot.
how we've been taught,
Hmm.
how mama been taught and grandmama been taught, and how they
Hmm.
passed it along the generations. But now I see a group of us that's saying, wait a minute, let's take another look at what we've been taught for some 200, 300 years. Let's take a different look at that. And that's what caused one to say, okay, let's look at the spiritual point of views of things instead of the physical point of views of things, if you understand. Because we've been taught more so the physical things in the church and with our lives, and some things have been left out. And that's when we have to look with our spiritual sense, with our
Hmm.
spiritual eyes, and say, wait a minute now. I think we need to go back over and start this thing again.
Hmm.
So that's where I think a lot of people today uh, have rose up, especially the younger group of folks that saying, you
Hmm.
know what, I'm not going to just settle for what we've been taught for these years. I'm gonna study myself.
Hmm.
So that's a part of power. That's a part of this journey. This a part
Hmm.
of the 41 years that I've been practicing to get outside of the box and think outside of the box. You know, I'm going to say this, and I hope I'm not off topic.
You're
When
good.
I started my journey, um, I did herbs, like I said, but
Hmm.
then for herbs, I did readings, right?
Hmm.
So what was very strange to me is some of the same people that I was in church with wanted readings. However, they had to sneak. We had to sneak. So, you know, they would get their little candles and things like that, and I would have to bag them up and send them mail. Now we were just right down the street, but I would have to mail them to their house and things like that. So it took a while for me to come out the closet and say, okay, this is who I was created to be, and this is what I'm going to do. Whether you like it or not, whether the church accepts it or not, I am who I am. And over the years, baby, I love who I am. And I love what I do. I don't hide. I don't sneak. This is it. This is
Hmm.
it. So, you know, it's power. When you
Hmm.
get to that point, you will feel that power rise up in your spirit so that you don't care what another person thinks. You want to exercise that power because guess what? There is something, some mysteries. You talked about this a little bit. There is some
Hmm.
mysteries in life, and the only way that these mysteries are going to be solved is if you do mystical things. And it's
Hmm.
not far from our ancestors. They did mystical things. They went out to
Hmm.
the woods. They gathered the herbs. They made their own concoctions. They did some astronomy. So these things we lost, but it's a group of us now that are saying, okay, we got to go back to those lost things and we got to find them and we got to use them for our benefits.
Could it be that your family have a heritage into the native community? Because I see native all in
That's what everybody say. Now, you know, Mama Eve is just Mama
you.
Eve, baby. We have like a historian that was in the family. She did the DNA test and all of that stuff. And
Hmm.
it was always taught that we had the native blood, and my great grandfather was a Blackfoot Indian.
Wow.
And for years, that's why I was like, yes, because they're very spiritual people.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay, it must have skipped some generations and landed on my lap. So
Hmm.
when we did the DNA, we come to find out there is no native. Actually, there was traces of Caucasians.
Hmm.
There
Yeah,
was
that happened. Hmm.
yes, and there was traces of it was a tribe I think somewhere in Africa, could have been Ghana or somewhere like that. So
Yeah.
kind of washed that away, but
Hmm.
I'm not too sure how I even believe in DNA and those tests and things like that.
Yeah.
But yes, so I don't know. What I will tell you is my mother and her sisters, and even my sisters, they have gifts. Now,
Hmm.
they are kind of, how can I put it? Still Christian based, so
Yeah, they want to hang on to it.
they would hang on to it. Where I just said,
Yeah,
okay, okay,
yeah,
whatever.
that's
Right.
respect.
So, but they're dreamers. I'm telling
Hmm.
you, baby, if my mother dreamed about fish, somebody is pregnant in the family.
Yeah. Hmm.
So that is still they don't understand that's still being spiritual. That's still being gifted. But they don't look at it like that. They just look like, oh, well, I just dreamed about blah 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 blah. Oh, well, let's give this person a call. So that
Hmm.
is a part of me. But actually, baby, even as far as the family go, with the things that I do, I've never seen it. I've never grown up around it. The only thing I've grown up around is going to church.
Hmm. That's how I started off too, because my granddaddy was a pastor.
Mm-hmm.
He was a pastor, but his last name was Calhoun. And you know, Calhoun, he's part of a tribe that's in the north
Mm-hmm.
and also in the south as well. So I was backlogging, I was tracking a lot of different things because my family has Shoshone, we have Chaw in us, and we have a lot of indigenous different blood types that exist in within us. And we also, some of my family do have white. You know what I mean? That become from the slavery mentality from back in the days because
Yep.
a lot of that was happening.
Yep. Yep. Now here I go again, and I have my own point of views on things. I
Yes,
do
ma'am.
not believe in reincarnation. I do not.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
do not
Yeah.
believe that when I die, I come back as a roach, a bird, a cricket. No. But I believe
Hmm.
in regeneration. So
Hmm.
that when I check up out of here, I can come back as a person.
Yep. That's
All
it.
right.
Exactly. Hmm.
So my thought is in every life I've had, I've always been spiritual.
Yeah. Hmm.
See, I didn't have to read no textbooks.
Hmm.
When I started with herbs, when my clients and my customers would come to me and say, I have high blood pressure, I would say, okay, well, I'm gonna mix this together for you. Try it. And it worked. You know, oh, I have a headache. Well, let me make you a concoction. Let me make you a tincture. Or let me make
Hmm.
you an ointment. It was just
Hmm.
like I had been doing this all my life.
It's in your DNA.
It's in my DNA. That's the
Hmm.
DNA I think that's the DNA I believe in.
Hmm.
Past lives.
Hmm.
So even in my next life, I believe some way I'm going to be doing exactly what I'm doing now.
Hmm. I know
So
you help a lot of people.
explains it to me that somewhere down now I think I have identified two, and that's funny because when I do past life regressions, that is my favorite reading to do. I love doing past life regression readings for people
Okay.
because their lives always tie in to today.
Hmm.
So guess what? I've identified two past prior lives, and I believe in both of those other two lives that I shared, I was doing just this.
Hmm.
That's why some things come to us and it's so normal. It feels right. It feels right. Have you ever been to a place and you're like, wow, I just feel at home? You know,
Yeah.
that's probably because you've been there before.
Hmm. I feel the same way about myself.
Hmm.
Because I can resonate with a lot of stuff that you're doing because that past life it also become your previous because a
Absolutely.
lot of stuff that we did then we doing it now.
Absolutely.
It's just the fact it's a memory block, but you know what it is, but you just can't figure it out.
Absolutely. Well, I done figured it out. I figured it out for myself.
You
Listen,
cracked the code.
I done cracked the code. Some of our ancestors, they had it. They had it,
Hmm.
right? But once again, something that was lost. How often have we heard somebody, one of our elders, when somebody have a baby, said, "You know what? She just like so and so. Lord, she'd have been here before," and
Hmm.
we just laughed it off. Or she looked like she's carrying her purse just like Aunt such and such used to do. Or he makes his expressions just like uncles. Okay, because that's probably a true fact.
Hmm.
That's probably a true fact. They knew something that we lost. They knew something. They did.
Yeah. And another thing, you know, when you're dealing with a lot of spiritual stuff, it creates an energy field around you, and people wonder why you're so powerful, the way you speak, the way you carry yourself, because it comes from that past life.
Hmm.
And so that, you know, when you're doing your spiritual works,
Hmm.
that your intent is more like you bringing some of that energy from back from your previous life, and you make that's how you making your herbs, how you making your candles, how you making everything, and you putting your intent into it. It's almost like you putting your foot into the meal, or you know what I mean, you putting your
Yes.
good foot into the meal, and you get it, you know, how people love and enjoy it, you know what I mean.
There's with workings.
Yeah.
What people, I would give this bit of advice.
Mm-hmm.
Intentions
Intention.
means so much. If I'm doing a working and that power that you're talking about,
Mm-hmm.
it have to match up with what I'm doing. If I'm doing something positive, I have to have that positive power, that positive intention to make something work positively. Do I
Mm-hmm.
work negatively? Absolutely. Yes, I do. If I have to, if I have to, if I have to go and rescue somebody, like I always say,
Yeah.
mama got a good side and she got a bad side. But if I have a
Mm-hmm.
client and I got to go rescue them,
Mm-hmm.
that's what I do.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't do that with sugar and spice, baby.
Yes,
No,
ma'am.
no, I don't do that. But that's the power and that's the intention that I have to work. For instance,
Mm-hmm.
if I have a white candle there and I'm trying to get somebody to healing power
Mm-hmm.
so that somebody can be healed, then that's one energy. But if I have a white candle and I'm doing a working to break an addiction, somebody is addicted to something,
Mm-hmm.
then that's another whole energy. That's a whole nother power that I'm working with. Now, I kind of disagree with you about the way I speak and all of that because I really, that's something I struggle with. I
Oh,
stutter a lot. I say the
okay.
right wrong words sometimes, but I'm not going to conform to or change the way I am. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not willing to do that. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I know this might not have anything to do with it, but even as far as my YouTube channel, it took 2 or 3 years before I agreed to it. Just because of that, I was like, okay, well, what if I get up there and say the wrong words? Or what if I stutter?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. I'm still learning. Mm-hmm.
right. So what I had to come to grips was either you be fake and phony or
Mm-hmm.
you just be yourself.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
guess which one I chose? You get what you see. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that power resonates from what I hear other people saying. That's the thing that makes me more genuine than a lot of other people because their grandma energy come up, their great grandma energy come up, their mother energy come up, their sister energy comes up. And I'm not willing to change anything about myself. Not
Mm-hmm.
not that I could not pay somebody to write me a script. No, I'm not going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So if I say the wrong words, oh well. I always say I don't care because I'm
Yes,
doing the
ma'am.
best that I can do.
Yes, ma'am. That's all that counts. Because at the end of the day, you did your work. But
Hmm.
how long have you been, you know, in business, like, you know, as far as like your stores and stuff?
Actually, I have. This is not my first store,
Mm-hmm.
baby. Let's see. I first started my first. We talking about spiritual store because I had other little stores growing up. I've
Yeah.
always been an entrepreneur since I was probably 12, 13. I got my dad to build me a snowball stand in the front yard.
Yes, ma'am.
I used to sell snowball. I've always been an entrepreneur, but I think that's something that's in me.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the spiritual, I would say close to 30 some, over 30 some years, 30 some years. There was a point in my life that I was working a 9 to 5, plus had my business. I've always, whether I did mail order, um, I was one of the first Black women that was on the psychic network on the East Coast. That was years ago. That was almost 40 years ago. So I used to do that in my home. Y'all remember when you could call for 99 cents? I was
Yeah.
one. I was one of the first ones that was
I
on.
remember that
Yeah,
lady named Cleo used to come on TV all the time. The Cleo lady. Yeah.
yeah. Some people say, "Oh, you just like Miss Cleo." I was like, I don't know about all of that, but so um, this is actually, ooh, I guess about my seventh store. When I first started out, I was married, and unfortunately, but fortunately, my husband, he was not spiritual at all. I met him in the church. Uh, First boyfriend, married him. Got out of high school, married him a few months later. Um, but he fought against everything that I did. If I went left, he went right. So I didn't have the support that I needed to keep these businesses going. And like I tell anybody and everybody, I'm the real deal. Listen, I've been through everything, hard times.
Mm-hmm.
So I had business after business after business and working. Um, so this, I believe, is about my seventh store. The difference is I've been divorced now for about 20 some years. And I have a partner that is so, so, so supportive. Is he spiritual? No, I would not say that. But he's open minded. So he kind of helps push me for greatness or toward greatness. Um, YouTube have opened up major, major, major doors for me, just like this opportunity.
Yes, ma'am. It
I,
opened a lot of doors for me too.
I have met some wonderful people that have been wind behind my back, pushing me right to greatness. So this has been about the seventh store, and I'm getting ready to open another store in Atlanta, Georgia.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yes, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. Some people think I'm moving to Georgia. I have no intentions right now of moving to Georgia. I'm in Baltimore. I'm a Baltimore girl. I'm a Maryland person. I love Baltimore. We have
Mm-hmm.
a lot of stuff going on, but I love it's my heart. I love Baltimore. But so I'll be doing a lot of back and forths and things like that. And who knows? My goal is to have a store, a successful business in at least probably 4 or 5 more states.
Mm. From what I was feeling about you, what I truly feel that your energy was something more passionate and great back in your past life because whatever you're doing right now is working. It's working. You working it.
Um,
Definitely. I would love to for the people to know your website address.
all right.
Um,
We have a new website,
mhm,
and we are building it daily. Is www.therealmamaeve. So
mhm,
we're constantly putting things on. I have so many products that it's going to probably take me months to get everything on there. One thing that you will find, we are making most of my own products. So
mm.
we physically make the baths, we blend the oils, we make the powders, we dress our own candles.
I saw that. I saw that because you had one powerful candle. I said, I got to get that candle.
Yes, yes. We have something like 200 some different candles. And
Hmm.
I take pride in everything because I know my stuff works. I got tired of getting burnt. And I'm a you might want to take this out, but I got
It's
tired
okay.
of being burnt, ordering from distributors. There is one in particular,
Hmm.
and I'm not going to say any name, but I had ordered this large order of oils,
Mm.
and 11 bottles of the oils was orange oil, the same orange oil with different labels slapped on it.
Hmm.
I said, you know what? If I'm selling this to my customers or to my clients, and if
Hmm.
it's not going to work, they're not going to look at that bottle of oil. They're going to look at me. I said,
Hmm.
from today forward, we had a meeting at the shop. I said, from today forward, everything that we can make, we're going to make ourselves. Because when the clients come in,
Hmm.
sometimes people are on the verge of giving up, throwing in the towel, suicide. I want them to be able to take home a product that's going to help them and heal them.
Right.
So we make our own products, and guess what? They're 100%. It's a family owned business. My daughter, she does the herbs, the herb blends. My granddaughter do the baths, the oils. My grandson, which is my manager, he does all my editing. He travels with me. He does all the candles, and I have other children and grandchildren to help out. So y'all go to that website and order some
Yeah,
stuff because
definitely.
I guarantee you, you're not going to find it nowhere else right now.
Yes, ma'am. And another thing, you would actually, it's like I love everything how a beautiful black woman is so empowerment and move, and you can actually show people, and they can use this as a tool itself because a lot of our people fail to realize that they can actually do the same thing if they empower themselves and get on the grind because a lot of people fail to realize that it's something out there for everybody.
You're right, but let's go back to something we discussed earlier.
Yes,
A
ma'am.
lot of times, the thing that's holding us back is what we have learned.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell you the amount of people that comes into my office crying, they're saying, I want to get a gemstone, for instance, but I don't want to burn in hell for it. I don't
Oh,
want to be
yeah.
condemned, So a
Mm-hmm.
lot of the times people are afraid because
Mm-hmm.
what how we was brought up and things that we was taught. People
That
ask me
program.
all the time, say, what do you
Mm-hmm.
consider yourself? I say a
Mm-hmm.
witch. That's what I tell them. And that's what
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you. A witch.
Mm-hmm.
Why a witch? Because a witch really doesn't have anything to do, it have nothing to do with Satan. That's a part
Nothing.
of the control mechanism that we grew
Mm-hmm.
up with.
Mm-hmm.
I look at a witch as a wise woman or a wise
Mm-hmm.
person that know how to take her intelligence and to transform things and take
Yeah.
that physical things and change it to spiritual things, take the power out of that and to conform whatever it is or to manifest whatever you're trying to do. So where we're thinking, oh, why does she call herself that? I'm comfortable with that. And I'm comfortable with saying I'm a witch that love God
Mm-hmm.
because I do.
Yes, ma'am. Another thing, when somebody had brought to me about it, they were like scared of like chicken feet, right? So I had to tell them like, the history of the chicken feet because
Yes.
a lot of our people was enslaved at the time, and they had to work with the scraps. So when they work with the scraps, they use that and they put their intent into it. They put
Hmm.
the energy into that chicken feet, and that chicken feet becomes some sort of protection.
And I'm going to step out a little bit.
Hmm.
The chicken feet. We had ancestors. Some of them would use, if for instance, let's talk about the Lamadamas,
Okay.
which were um, women, but they did have some men.
Hmm.
that was powerful, powerful. Healers, fortune tellers, midwives. So if I was one of the women that was considered a lama dama, and we had another slave that had negative bad energy,
Mm-hmm.
then what I would do is take a black chicken, and I would take that chicken and I would rub that chicken all over that person's body.
Mm.
Why? Because it was believed that the negative energy would transfer from that person now into that chicken.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
that chicken now will bear all of that negative energy. And then that chicken would be sacrificed. So
Mm-hmm.
a lot of us use the chicken foot just as that, as a form to draw or magnetize negative energy. So it won't hit us, it's going into the chicken.
Mm-hmm. All right. Definitely. I thank you for even coming on the show. I thank you for even blessing the this recording right now. You know what I mean? Because we all on a spiritual journey right now, and mine is still going. I'm still learning. I'm learning from you. I'm learning for others. Because we all have to walk a different spiritual path, but it all going to end it up on the same path. But
Mm-hmm.
definitely, I give my praises to the Most High, and I
Yeah.
definitely give my respect to the elders and my praises to the elders, and I thank all my elders as well, because without y'all, it wouldn't be us.
Thank you.
Definitely.
Thank you. Y'all check me out on YouTube, Mama Eve. Mama Eve. Y'all come on over and check some. I do some free teachings. People
Mhm.
say put it on Pantheon or whatever it's called and charge. I said no. What I want to do is give back. So I
Mhm.
do a lot of mine. You can learn how to do things yourself. So
Mhm.
even if you, like he brought up, want to do this and don't know where to start, or you kind of afraid,
Mhm.
practice in
Yeah.
your home. That's what they
Mhm.
did. That's what they did for years.
I
Practice
had
in.
numerous books. I had to read a lot of numerous books to get where I'm at.
There you go. So check me out on YouTube, Mama Eve. And don't forget the website,
Mhm.
www.therealmamaeve.com. And if you're ever in Maryland, look up Eve's Botanical and Religious Goods and come on and see me. I would
I
even
did.
you. I want you to see me too.
Yes, ma'am. I will. I sure will. My brother just came from up there.
What?
Yeah, yeah, he was doing a lot of maintenance up in Maryland. He waiting for his contract to come back on. He said it's cold up there. It's ice up there.
It is free. We're supposed to get
Yeah,
snow over the weekend.
yeah.
So yes, but that's all right. The snow, like our older ancestors say, would kill germs. So we look forward to that too. All right. So
Yes,
this has
ma'am.
been wonderful. Thank you. Thank you.
Hmm.
Thank you. Invite me
Hmm.
back because I want to talk
I
about
will.
History Month.
I
That's
will. So I sure will. I sure will.
it's controversial.
Yes, ma'am.
Right?
Okay. I
That,
thank everybody for listening on it live. I thank Mama Eva for even blessing it right now. You know what I mean? But definitely, this is tribal country for the fold, and this is Z Energy, and this is Mama Eve. So y'all go ahead and visit her website. I'm gonna put it in the tab at the bottom, and I'm gonna make sure I do it too.
all right. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Have a great weekend and with a great week.